Hi and welcome to Whisky Shared. You're watching my review of Jura Bourbon Cask. I'm Toby and you're watching Whisky Shared. Welcome to my review of Jura Bourbon Cask. Jura is a single malt Scotch whisky distillery from the Isle of Jura and it dates back to 1810. The current distillery dates back to 1963 and the island itself has a population of just over 200. The current distillery is owned by White & Mackay and their whisky is well known for being coloured and chill filtered. This particular whisky is no exception and it's 40% ABV and it retails for around £36 in the UK. Should we find out what it tastes like? On to the whisky. So before I start nosing and tasting, let's have a quick look at the colour. I'd say it's like a deep gold, but as I've already mentioned, this whisky is coloured. Let's start with the nose. So it really is quite fruity. I'm getting like poached pears. I'm getting some biscuit. I'm getting some cereal. I'm getting a little bit of vanilla. There's some toffee. There's some charred oak. And there's also a hint of solvent. Let's move on to the palate. Yeah, so it's light to start. There's definitely a cereal note that starts off, reminds me a little bit of oat cakes. And then there's the sweetness. I'm getting orchard fruits, I'm getting apple, I'm getting pear. It's definitely a fruity dram. Definitely a nice fruit note with this. It's sweet, not too sweet, but it is definitely sweet. Let's have another sip. Yeah, I'm starting to get some barrel spice. There definitely is a little bit of pepper. I think that's coming from the ex-bourbon casks. The pepper definitely dominates a little. There is a noticeable spice that lingers, which is quite impressive for a 40% whisky. There's also a hint of linseed oil. It's definitely present. Let's have one final sip. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of like heather honey. There's an almost like very light smoke, similar to what you get on a simple blend. But it's yeah, I'm not sure if that's coming from the barrels, but it's yeah, that's quite pleasant as well. In terms of finish, I'd say it's a medium finish. There's some dry wood, there's a little bit of pepper, and there's also a sort of peach or apricot note, which is quite nice. In terms of value though, as I said, this retails for around the £36 mark, but I would say it's rarely that price in the UK. It often sits around the £25 mark. This is one of a few entry-level Juras. I think Jura gets a bad rap. I don't think this is an exception. I think this is definitely a little lackluster. It's, you know, a light and simple whisky, but it does have a nice touch of spice. I think the fact it's 40%, the fact it's chill filtered, the fact it's non-age statement, and yeah, it has some added colour. I can see why Jura definitely, you know, is something that a lot of people give a miss. But I think this would be a good beginner single malt. But I think generally Jura have struggled to sort of keep people faithful to the brand, because I think once you get into whiskey, you don't really have much to go on, because Jura's been a little bit lackluster in terms of their integrity whiskey. What do I mean by that? Well, as I said, this is 40%, it's coloured, it's chill filtered, and it's got no age statement, and I think that's pretty standard for a lot of the Jura range. But in my next review, I will be reviewing something that's the complete opposite. It's a Jura with everything that I've said this doesn't have. So definitely subscribe if you haven't already, and keep your eye out for that review next week. But back to this whiskey. This is, I'd say, yeah, it's light, it's simple. It has some nice fruit flavours. I think if you're a beginner to single malts, I think this is a good place to start. But it's probably where your journey would typically end with Jura. I've got nothing against this particular whiskey. Obviously, you know, it sits at its price point and it fits a part of the market, but it's just, you know, a brand that I think just doesn't have enough for people that are really into whiskey. And yeah, this is probably where people will start their journey, and possibly where they'll end it with Jura. If you've tried this, then let me know in the comments as always. And if you have another Jura that you think I should try, or maybe something that you think people should move on to if they do start here with this particular Jura, then also let me know in the comments, and obviously people can see what you think they should move on to. Hopefully you found that interesting, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Stauncher. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment, and please consider subscribing for more videos like this.